Yeah, a little bit of a snoozer there in the first period. We give up a goal in the second period, and I liked our response. Found a way because we get a power play, find a way to score a goal, and then I thought good from there. I mean, at this time of the year, garnering points in our league are going to be difficult, and so for us to get 5 or 6 at home, it's not perfect. But tonight, I thought we had, some guys, some significant contributions from people we needed to be, and one of them is Akito Hiroshi. I thought Akito was special tonight, both offensively, defensively. He had an outstanding weekend. I want to single him out. I usually don't do that, but I think his play uh, needs to be rewarded that way from myself and our staff. So it was an important weekend for us, and glad that it ended up working out the way that it did.
Early on, it just seemed like they did a really good job of making it difficult, kind of keeping you guys to the outside. You talked about the parity in the league. It just they played hard, I thought, and I just thought they made it difficult. Talk about what they did to do that.
Well, I think they're committed to what they're doing right now, which is defending. I think shots were 7-1 in the first, and one thing when our staff got together and talked to the coach, we said we were either a little bit lazy or a little bit tired. I don't know which one, but I also want to give them credit for making us look that way. You're going to have to pay a price against those trees to get inside to make a play, and you look at the power play goal that we score. We've got net front presence. It's tipped by 14 and then goes off, I think, the toe of 10 in front. Not pretty. You can't paint that on a picture, but you've got to find a way to get it there and get it behind them. I thought their goaltender was good throughout the entire weekend, and for us to find a way to get that first one, I thought really got the crowd into the game.
Coach, I know you singled out Akito Hiroshi, but another guy that I thought stood out this series, and not only this series, but the past several series, has been Keenan Ransier. And with all the question marks in the beginning of this season with the departure of Dryden McKay, how happy are you at this point in the season with his development and how much he's matured and grown throughout the season?
Yeah, you know what? I think Corey Lockey, our goaltending coach, has done a really good job with our goaltenders. And Keenan's, provided us some stability back there. As you can tell, we don't give up a tremendous amount. So his job at times to get into a rhythm, when you face one shot in the first period, sometimes that's hard to do. And I think it takes some mental fortitude, some focus. And, he's had a good run here over the last 6 games in the second half. And we're going to need 90 plus percentage every night if we want to keep winning hockey games.
Just getting back to Akito, and you singling him out, and you talked about him last night too, about what he's done the last couple of weeks. What is the biggest difference in your mind compared to early in the year or even early in his career? Because he's kind of played at that high level and certainly produced at a high level. But what's different, in the last few weeks?
Complete game. Whether he has it or he doesn't have it, he seems to be playing with the same purpose. Everything he does. He's a guy you like. I will tell you this, on Mondays, you like seeing him at the rink. You bump into him on a Sunday, you see him here on a Wednesday. It doesn't really change. He's got that smirk to him. You don't know if he's laughing at you or laughing with you. But he's got a special hockey sense. Those guys are fun to be around because he's a competitor. He's not real boisterous in what he does. He's reserved. I'm just happy for him because I think he's established a detail to his daily and his game that I think starting to really show out on the rink.
I think one thing in the second half you guys have done really well is respond when you get scored on, especially first. Do you feel like that's just a maturity that's kind of coming with this team as you grow?
I hope it's a maturity and we're not just getting used to it. It's happened often, too often from the coach's standpoint. But I will tell you, whether it's in the locker room or whether it's on the bench, I haven't seen our guys get rattled. And I will tell you, early in the year, we've had some bumps in the road dealing with adversity because it's something that some of the guys hadn't experienced in their roles previously. So it's growing, and hopefully we're maturing. And these are games you've got to win.
That game kind of felt like the other two against Bemidji and Ferris, where they do a good job defending and defend hard. So, we're trying to learn from those mistakes, and made sure we got to the net hard, and it paid off for us tonight.
Between last night and tonight, the coach singled out Akito's play, and certainly he showed it on the rink. He probably didn't need to be pointed out necessarily, but what are you seeing out of him as a teammate, whether it's every day in practice or what you've seen over the last couple of weeks from his play, how he's upped his game, and maybe what's changed between now and earlier in the season?
He's just putting the work. He's an unbelievable guy, unbelievable teammate, and he shows up every day with whether things are going good for him or going bad for him. He shows up, puts the work in, and it's nice to see him get rewarded because he works hard, and some guys don't see it behind the scenes, but we definitely do every day. So super happy for him that he's playing well right now.
Shots and chances in the first period weighed heavily in your favor, and then Lake State opens the second period with a pretty early goal. How are you guys as a team able to sort of manage your composure and, not get super deflated and then ultimately tie it later in the second?
I think that's something we've definitely come back in the second half a lot better. We've matured that way. I think in the first half they would score first and we get a little rattled and get off our game, but this might be the 4 to 5 games that they've scored first, and we've kept our cool and found a way to come back. So happy we're turning in that direction.
Just in the league this year, in point percentage now, I'm pretty sure you guys are first and they're last, but it just feels like the parity is just so apparent throughout. Do you agree? I mean, just the way they worked and just made it difficult on you guys all weekend and on the road.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the CCHA. Everyone has a chance to win every night, no matter if you're top or bottom. We kind of saw that a lot this weekend with different teams playing each other, and it's great. It's playoff hockey. It's a bunch of men going at it, so it makes you tougher and definitely a fun way to play hockey.
You just kind of mentioned this again, and maybe see if you can get a little more detailed as far as the these games being similar to the Bemidji and Ferris games and the difference between losing those games at home and winning these games at home. You talked about being, keeping your cool, keeping your composure, being more mature. Are there other details that come to mind that, really make the difference between, losing those games and winning this one?
Just, like I kind of said earlier, just sticking with it. I think that's a big one for us. Working together. We don't have we have 4 solid lines that when we're all going, we're a good team to beat, and we can't have a line take a night off, and that's what we're learning. So it's fun, working together, and it's great because we can push each other, and I think that's the biggest difference is the positivity on the bench and each other. We're really happy for each other's success, and that's big right now with our success.
I had asked Hasty this earlier, but I wanted to get a player's perspective too. Obviously, coming into this season without Dryden McKay, there was a lot of question marks surrounding goaltending, and earlier in the season we were able to see Tracy and now Rancier, and now these past few weeks it seemed like Rancier's really been able to step up and solidify his spot. Maybe just give a perspective of what you've seen from him that sort of helped establish his spot.
Yeah, he's battled. Super proud of him again. He works hard behind the scenes. He's at the rink every day, and he puts his work in and gets better. And I think I do want to single out Mason Wheeler, too. I think he's stepped up in blocking shots, which helps Keenan. But Keenan's done an unbelievable job of just making sure we're calm back there. And I think that starts with him and carries us out front. He's a big reason why we're successful right now, too.
Don't want to keep harping on this, but if in terms of some of that maturity that comes, is some of that just kind of develop, going through players finding new spots from either last year or because of injuries this year? Are you guys just getting a little bit more comfortable too in your roles, and it maybe took a little longer than you wanted to kind of feel that comfort level?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it there with, we started to find our identity early on this season, then hit with some injuries and struggled a little bit to find that. And now I think we are finding it individually and as a team. We have different lines doing different things, stepping up different nights, and that's what you need to be a successful hockey team.